Today, I'm taking you all to Wmiles, a spectacular scene. It's this camouflage test vehicle right behind me. It is the long wheelbase version of the domestically produced BMW X3 from BMW's new generation lineup. This time, we're test driving the domestically produced long wheelbase version of the BMW X3. It's the world's first test drive. This car is built with an extended wheelbase based on insights into the Chinese market. At the same time, this vehicle will also be exported to markets including Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, and even India. It's certainly a right-hand drive model. Also joining us today are some overseas media outlets. Let's take a look together. What is the world's first experience like with the long wheelbase version of the X3? The main focus of this event is the dynamic driving experience. So what we see here are these cars covered in a thick, heavy layer of camouflage, but that doesn't stop us from getting a quick feel for it. First off, let's start with the front of the car. Actually, the overall height is still quite substantial. Even though it's covered in camouflage, we can't make out the details. But from overseas sources, as well as some materials released by BMW Global, we can already get a general idea of what this car looks like. There are two long light strips. This is the original Angel Eye. Now it has been transformed into two sharp edges. Here's a pair of upright, highly retro kidney grills. It can be illuminated. Light strips are used here throughout. Once the wrap comes off, we'll be able to see it. At the same time, we can see that there are cameras and sensors installed here, so this car's future autonomous driving system. It's also a feature worthy of anticipation. The intelligent driving version of this car is a collaboration with China's Momenta. So this car, I think in terms of its intelligent driving experience, it shouldn't be bad. Actually, the car's side profile, I personally really like this super wide design. The design of the wheel arches, they are featured both at the front and rear of this position. That's why this car looks really powerful. But it doesn't rely on the tough, sharp waistline that BMW used to feature. Instead, it is shaped by these powerful and dynamic curved surfaces. Right now, details are hard to make out, probably because the car is covered in camouflage, but I can still sense the sportiness and power exuding from this car through the touch of my hand. Let's take a look at the rear of the car. The LED taillights of the car look really futuristic. They are arranged in such strips, looking just like fish scales. There's a raised section here with the BMW logo right in the middle. There are raised sections on both sides, which also look very modern. There are two relatively large diffusers at the bottom. The trunk space actually looks quite decent. There's a partition here, and this space looks very flat and even. There's also a small storage compartment at the bottom for odds and ends. This car is fitted with 255/40ths R21 wheels. Another car we saw at the exhibition area is fitted with 255/35ths R22 wheels. As a whole, those wheels look noticeably larger. Most importantly, the wheelbase of this car is 108mm longer than that of the standard overseas version. So all of this extended length is dedicated to the rear seats. It is 185 centimeters tall. There's still over 2/5 worth of legroom, and the space is plenty practical. The headroom is quite spacious too, about 1/5 worth of space. Then there's a huge sunroof above. For this car, we still don't know the specific configuration details of its rear section for now. Now, we can only see the air vents, seat heating function, and two Type-C ports. There is a center armrest at the position of the rear seats. Now, we can't pull it open because it's covered with this black cloth. Also, as for the seats, the maximum adjustment angle is 31 degrees. Then there is also a 27-degree setting. The two settings can be switched and adjusted. As for the seat itself, I think its angle and the generous space it offers are completely satisfactory. It is perfectly suited to the needs of Chinese consumers. Since we're already here, we might as well head to the front row and take a look. Though the front row is probably covered even more tightly. These items cannot be removed without permission, but these will definitely be removed when we conduct the test drive. We'll then reveal a few more details for you all. As we get in, at least what we can see right now is the heads-up display projected at eye level at the front. Although some people might think this isn't anything out of the ordinary, it feels just like the Xiaomi Yo 7. But in fact, their technologies are completely different. This is indeed a projection. So what we see as a black ring under the windshield is this nano coating. This nano coating has one advantage. It can ensure the screen remains extremely clear in real time. We just gave it a test run. Even when wearing polarized glasses, the screen remains perfectly clear. This is the kind of experience that BMW has likely invested a great deal of effort in perfecting. We can also see the wireless charging pad right here at the front. There are two Type-C ports here. Steering wheel and 17.5-degree tilted central control screen. The visual cone we've been talking about. That's also what the vertical spokes of the steering wheel are designed for. This center-oriented console tilted at an angle of 17.5 degrees, and this panoramic vision display system at eye level. There's also a HUD up front, which is designed to keep drivers' eyes focused straight ahead at all times. It ensures maximum driving safety. These are the buttons for operating the power windows. These are the buttons for the side mirrors. These are the seat control buttons. The seat adjustment controls are located right here. The door open button is right here. Give it a light press, and the electrically operated door will pop open right away. It also made sure the doors can still open during emergencies or if the power cuts out. This door handle has two positions. A light pull is for regular use. For emergency situations, a firm backward pull will activate the mechanical override mode. So at this point, you can open the door using this mechanical pulling force. Handling is a core value of the BMW brand. That's exactly what this test drive is all about. The route for this test drive is very diverse. Besides ordinary urban roads, expressways, and mountain roads, there are also high and low speed projects on the racetrack. It really is extremely comprehensive. Let me briefly share with you, we just test drove for about an hour. Now, how does this car feel to drive on city streets, expressways, and mountain roads? I think it delivers a very light and nimble driving feel typical of an electric vehicle. Whether it's acceleration or braking or steering, it feels extremely light and nimble. But as for the core of what makes a BMW drive like a BMW, this car has got it all. For instance, the steering wheel response is intuitive, and the vehicle's directional control is extremely precise. While the steering assist isn't particularly strong, it's exceptionally linear. It's brilliant. This car's braking system deserves a special mention. The integration of its kinetic energy recovery and mechanical braking. According to the data, kinetic energy braking handles the braking in 98% of cases. Then, mechanical braking is only needed to provide supplementary assistance in approximately 2% of cases. Of course, the heart of joy, the super driving brain automatically decides which braking method to use for you. So when we are driving spiritedly on mountain roads, even after the car comes to a complete stop, you'll find there's not even a hint of warmth on the brake discs. It's basically all handled by kinetic energy recovery. To show off the unique magic of BMW's soft stop system, they've specially created track experience activities just for it. One of them is to directly compare the performance of kinetic energy recovery and traditional mechanical braking. Completely seamless. Then shift it to neutral, and the experience is completely different. The other one is simply having us close our eyes while braking and rely on feel to determine whether the car has come to a stop. Then open our eyes to check what the actual situation is. Let's go. Then close your eyes. Step on the brake. Stop now. It's about a 1 second difference. The soft stop system not only ensures driving comfort but also reduces energy consumption. It can also significantly reduce the wear and tear on the brake discs. It's really getting a whole bunch of benefits from just one feature. Then there's also how the chassis feels when you drive. I think the long wheelbase version of the iX3 actually has a chassis feel that's skewed toward comfort. It's totally perfect for Chinese consumers to drive. And as for those little bumps on the road or small manhole covers, it filters them out really well. However, on mountain roads, its support is more than adequate. It not only copes smoothly with daily driving, but also when it comes to keeping steady at super low speeds and making sudden lane changes at high speeds. In these two relatively extreme driving scenarios, the iX3 also proves to be more than capable. It's super precise to control. As we mentioned earlier, its driving experience is distinctly different from that of the traditional gasoline-powered BMW models we've driven before. This driving feel has all the typical perks of modern electric cars, as well as that sense of lightness, really zippy, quick feel. Besides, it also boasts impressively low noise levels. At the same time, it retains BMW's signature long-standing solid feel. Heart of joy, all these outstanding performances are credited to the driving super brain, Heart of Joy. This system integrates the essence of BMW's decades of expertise in driving dynamics. Dual-domain control for chassis and powertrain. It is a source of driving pleasure. So, let's find out where the new generation iX3 hides its e-powertrain secrets. First on display here is the electric motor. This here is the front motor, and that's the rear motor over there. The biggest difference between the two lies in the rear motor. It is an excited motor. There is still a difference between an excited motor and a permanent magnet motor. Its main characteristic is that it is suitable for high speeds. At the same time, during our everyday use, it offers higher efficiency. Of course, its main problem lies in the high cost. So BMW has indeed spared no effort in developing its new generation models. One of the advantages of the permanent magnet asynchronous motor mentioned earlier is its compact structure. Another advantage of it is that it has relatively weak drag. That is to say, under low load conditions. It will disconnect directly when there is no traffic congestion, including during constant speed cruising. There will not be too much reverse drag force. It is highly beneficial for energy conservation. Let's move on to the battery section. The cylindrical battery I'm holding is a 4695 model. It was developed by BMW itself. Of course, it is developed in cooperation with supplier partners. Its advantage is that its battery cells adopt a wound structure. Therefore, its charging efficiency will be more uniform. Moreover, thanks to the shorter current path, the charging efficiency is higher. Also, we can see there is a pressure relief hole at the bottom. That is the safety valve. If a failure occurs inside the battery, such as fire or short circuit, then the pressure inside the battery can be let out straight to the bottom of the car through this hole. Let's take another look at this large battery pack. This large battery pack can hold approximately 1000 cells. Arrange the battery cells in a row like this. Next, moving downward, the battery pack has a capacity of around 100 kilowatt-hours. Of course, we can wait for the official release of the specific figures, because BMW develops it on its own, including the battery cells. BMW also makes the whole battery pack on its own. So how should the entire battery pack be arranged specifically? In terms of safety, they also have their own unique ideas.
First question for you is I just want to know the biggest challenge when you just develop the Heart of Joy. So what's the biggest challenge for you?
The challenge, as we first heard, we can do a completely new thing. I would say we want to have a new architecture, a new car, a basis for the next cars in the few years. We will have to do something. We have the ultimate driving machine, and I said, what can we do with this? And then we started from the scratch to say, okay, what do we have to do this? So, okay, do a good architecture, do a good components, and then we said, what can it be? What didn't we have? How can we reach the next level? We know how to deal with electric engines, how to go on. We say, let's use the full potential. What is it? Let's take them for braking and to actualizing the car and say, how should this architecture write? And we write it down on a blank sheet of paper, put all our experience together from our guys who had experience of over 30 years of development and say, okay, let's try this functional architecture and then we can use this. So it was challenging, it was hard work the last time, but they worked on this topic, very with effort, and with fun. We say, okay, this can work. This is a new architecture, and therefore we called it the Heart of Joy because we were so able and we moved the whole day, to reach its potential. So it was more the opportunity to get something completely new. So it was not like hard work. So it was a chance for us. The chance that we now reached. We got the ability, the capabilities, and now this is what we have in our cars, and we see it works as we wanted.
Okay, so it's a brand new system and it's a chance for you, right?
It is a chance, it was a chance, and we are very proud of this product, and every customer will feel this.
Okay. And the second one, we just finished our test drive just for the long wheelbase iX3. So as we know that the long wheelbase car was developed especially for China. So what have you done for the long wheelbase iX3, especially for the Chinese market?
There are only slight adaptations because the iX3 has to drive like an iX3. So, the iX3 has a longer wheelbase, so the adaptation are especially concerning of the longer wheelbase. Because we know of the customers' needs in China, in the Asian market, we did it a little bit, soften it up, so less forces on the springs, and therefore we adapted the shock absorber performance, and we adapted the stiffness of the top mount bushings. But the thing is to keep, so this was also a challenge, to keep the sportiness, to keep the driving precision, and the level that the car can reach in a driving condition, but to do it a little bit more comfortable. So this was the challenge, and we adapted also the steering forces to have it a little lighter, to have it very effortless, and also the Heart of Joy, of course, because of the longer wheelbase, and especially the needs for this controllability, for this safety reasons, also adaptation on the Heart of Joy, the dynamic performance control.
Okay, so from my point of view, a good job for you. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
We have now finished the worldwide test drive experience of the long wheelbase BMW iX3. Now this car of mine has been fully covered up again. Actually, I just drove it to experience all the test items. We also presented it to everyone through the camera just now. Honestly, the first thing that hits you when driving this car is that it doesn't drive like it weighs over 2 tons. It is more like a fuel-powered SUV weighing 1.7 to 1.8 metric tons. It brings us that sense of lightness. So this great driving feel is actually one of the perks of BMW's full in-house R&D. It all starts with Heart of Joy, the core of driving pleasure. Then extending to the battery, motor, and electronic control system, the entire vehicle architecture architecture is also designed to serve driving dynamics. Only full-stack independent R&D can achieve this. This does not include certain domestic OEM manufacturers in our market. They may just procure components from various suppliers. They can just assemble a car. But in the EV era, building a vehicle that has real driving soul requires more than just sourcing parts. This sort of issue can't be truly fixed just by buying things from suppliers. So with this vehicle, I really get to see BMW's take on the EV era. It's already the 4th year now since we first heard about and got to know this car. But I believe that saying good things are worth waiting for. Let's just sit back and look forward to this car at the upcoming Beijing Auto Show. It will make a complete and full-fledged debut. Its official price will be announced in the second half of 2026. Let's look forward to it.